Hey guys, just on the way to the casino today. The goal is to play, around 7 hours of 2-5 no limit hold'em. So for today, just thinking about what's on my mind. I wanted to say my thoughts. I saw this video online. So there's this poker player. I guess he's like a streamer or whatever on Twitch. But anyways, I watch his videos on YouTube. But so his name is so it's like online name is Kaki T. So anyway, his name is Kaki T. He does like whatever. He streams himself playing poker online, and then I guess sometimes he does videos where he's watching people play poker, like high stakes, and he comments or reacts. Whatever. I mean, I think he's a full-time poker player for a while. Whatever. He's pretty good, I feel like, and he's often just talking about poker and whatever, making poker content. Anyway, so I saw a video where he was at the World Series this past summer, and he was explaining that nowadays for tournaments, what a lot of the pros do is they wait to the very last second of late registration to late reg the tournament. So there's it could be as close to the money as possible when their stack starts, and then they start stalling to try and min cash. And I mean, I guess a lot of the poker pros have done the math, and they realize that this is like a very plus EV thing to do, to just late reg at the very last second, have a few chips, play a short stack strategy, and take as long as you can on every single hand, so that hopefully after a few hours or whatever, you can at least min cash and make a profit. And obviously, if you can get lucky, you can run up your stack and even win the tournament, right? So anyway, so he was complaining about it, saying how this is terrible for poker, and he was saying the people that do this are such rats or scum, or what kind of man would do something like that, and blah blah. And I mean, I thought about it, and to me, I just think there's the reason people are doing that is because of the fundamental flaw that there is in tournaments. And it's not necessarily that the people are doing it are cowards or whatever. They're just doing something that they view as plus EV. To me, it's no different than playing blackjack and waiting until you have 11 to double down and to try and maximize your edges. So they found a way to maximize their edge. I'm assuming it's an easy edge to find in tournaments, so they're doing that. And to me, the problem is just the way tournaments are structured, and it's also one of the reasons I don't play tournaments. So a good point is, all right, so if you're playing live cash tables, right? So say a live cash game grinder, your goal, let's say you're gonna you show up and you're gonna play for whatever, 7-8 hours. Your goal is to play as many hands as possible. So if you look down, you see Jack 4 off, you're gonna fold it as quick as you can. You're not gonna waste any time, because you assume you have an edge for every hand you play, so that your goal is to play as many hands as you can, and then that should make you win as much money as you can. Whereas in tourneys, your goal should technically be to play as slow as possible, because the slower you play, the longer you're going to last in the tournament, and the longer you last in the tournament, the more odds you are to min cash or to move up the pay jumps. So essentially, live cash games encourage you to play as fast as possible, whereas live tournaments encourage you to play as slow as possible. And I mean, if you play online tournaments too, you see that also when you get near the money, people start stalling. But I'm assuming it's much worse in live tournaments. Anyway, so my point is, because of that, it makes me not want to play tournaments, and I'm sure it discourages other people too. And there kind of is a tough way to fix it. I mean, one way to fix it would be that just have shootouts, right? So a shootout means, you play a 9-handed table, whoever wins advances. So wasting time wouldn't benefit you at all. It would just be wasting time. Playing fast wouldn't necessarily benefit you either, but whatever. The point is, you wouldn't be encouraged to waste time. But obviously I can understand why shootouts aren't that popular. I mean, I can see why people like playing, tournaments where you just, you have your chips, you try to go as far as you can, chip in a chair, you can play to survive, whatever. I can see how that could be appealing to lots of players. So I think the other option would be to have the dealers count hands. So how many hands are being played at each table. And then, so if you bust on a hand 102 and someone else busts on a hand 104, the person who busted on a hand 104 went deeper than you, even if you're at a table where everyone's playing super slow, and maybe the guy who busted on hand 104, busted 20 minutes, got knocked out 20 minutes before the guy got knocked out on hand 102. All those things do sound like a lot of a hassle. I mean, they've tried to install shot clocks and things, but I guess just the big problem is the way tournaments are structured is it rewards wasting time. So, yeah, I don't really see how that can be fixed. I mean, other than the counting hands thing. I mean, also counting hands thing could be tough, but maybe if you had, I know when I was younger, they used to have electronic tables for poker, so you could, the cards would get, there wouldn't be a dealer, it would just be electronic tables. And I mean, I guess it was pretty good for tournaments in terms of just raising the blinds and collecting the antes, made things go really fast. So if you had electronic tables, then I guess it could also count how many hands were dealt, if that's the way to approach it. But yeah, I guess my point is the way tournaments are set up, I just think it's like a bad time. Like, I'm surprised they're as popular as they are. And I've been playing poker full-time for 12 years. I was playing also when I was younger, before when I was still in school and stuff. So I've been playing for about 21 years. So yeah, I've been playing for about 21 years. So I would say after about 15 years of playing poker, I started when I was 15, and I would say by the time I was 30, I pretty much came to the conclusion that tournaments are just like dumb. Like, the way they're set up, it's just dumb. It's like not enjoyable. Like, you're constantly, like, a perfect example, like I said, you play a cash game, you look down, you see Jack 4 off, you fold as fast as you can, you want to see the next hand. You look down in a tournament, you see Jack 4 off, you take 5 seconds and then you fold. I'm just like, it's so unreasonable. And then you just see people on the flop, they check, the guy bets, they have no intention of calling the bet, and they just sit there for 10 seconds staring blankly, and then they fold. I'm just like, this is just so dumb. It just makes it very unenjoyable. And I mean, also with tournaments, my kind of thinking is it's just so much luck, and it seems like there's a lottery. And then there's this whole thing about, you hear about these guys who are great tournament players, and I don't really buy into all that. I mean, this is kind of the way I see a tournament a little bit, is let's say you're playing a lottery, right? And you had 1,000 numbers, and you picked them 100 times. But if you picked a number, you put it back in. So if you had 1,000 numbers, first number you pick is number 624. And then you pick 20, put it back in, you pick 35 more numbers, and then on the 36th number, you pick 624 again. Like, all right, so the number 624 had 1,000 to 1 shot of getting picked, and it got picked twice in the first 36 times. So does that mean the number 624 is a really great lottery player, and clearly 624 has an edge? Like, no, it's just like random luck variance. It's random luck, it's variance. And I think it's the same thing for tournaments too. I mean, let's say you are playing tournaments full time. Maybe you're playing whatever. Say you play 30 tournaments a year. So maybe in 30 years you play 1,000 tournaments. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy for your number to never get picked, or it's also easy for your number to get picked 5 times out of 1,000, right? Assuming each tournament's 1,000 people. So to me, it really is just like a big crapshoot. I'm surprised they're still popular. I mean, I think the main event's a cool idea in Vegas, the 10K with so many people in it, but yeah, I'm just kind of shocked more people don't come to cash games, or that tournaments are still a thing. Like, the fact that like after 15 years of poker, I came to the conclusion that tournaments are really dumb, and like I don't really have any desire to play them anymore. I'm kind of shocked more people haven't come to that conclusion yet. And the fact that, like, instead of people concluding that tournaments are dumb, they've somehow concluded that, one way to get an edge is to late reg, play a short stack, play as slow as possible, and hope to min cash. I mean, really? So that's where like tournaments have gone now. And then the whole thing with ICM too is, it technically makes sense because yes, you're trying to make as much money as possible, but isn't the point of a tournament to win the tournament? Like in any tournament other than poker, the whole goal is to win, right? A chess tournament, you're trying to win the tournament. A basketball tournament, March Madness, you're trying to win the tournament. You're not like hoping to fold your way to second or play really conservative and whatever it is, So the poker tournament's the only thing where you're happy when you come second, third, fourth, because you like make a big payday, right? Big score. And I think there's ways to change. I mean, one way you could also change it would be you have like a shootout format. So then everyone who makes the final, let's say it's a 10K buy-in or something, right? So you have a shootout format. Everyone who makes the final table gets 100K, and then places 9th all the way to 2nd or 100K. Maybe first place is like $3 million. So essentially, you're playing your shootout. You make the final table, you get 100K. And then if you come first, you make 3 million. So when you're at the final table, again, it's a winner take all. So you're not trying to fold your way to second or fold your way to third, and be really careful early on to not bust out. I mean, also too, you see tournaments online with ICM and everything. One thing you'll notice is you'll have like a chip leader and a bunch of short stacks. And then essentially the chip leader can start going all in blind every hand, and the short stacks can't call because there might be someone shorter behind them, and they say, oh, it's an ICM nightmare to call an all in here with ace queen off, even though the chip leader is going all in blind, right? So all those things, to me, it's just made tournaments so dumb the way they've evolved. I mean, I know when I first started playing poker when I was like 15, so 20 years ago or 21 years ago, I mean, tournaments were obviously different back then. It seemed like people were like trying to come first, and if you came second or third, you still got a score and whatever. But people didn't think to just like fold their way and stall and ICM this and ICM that. I don't know. To me, tournaments have just got into an area where I think they're so dumb, and I'm just shocked that people still play them. And I'm also surprised there's people that are like even considered good tourney players, because like anyone who's a professional who really takes their time and studies tournaments is going to figure out the proper math behind most of the situations, right? Assuming they're decent at poker player, assuming they're decent at poker, and everyone has the push full charts that you can pretty easily get access to in the solvers and all those things. So at the end of the day, the person who wins 3 tournaments, the person who plays 100 tournaments and wins 3 of them, is not necessarily better than the person who plays 100 tournaments and doesn't even cash in one of them. It's just variance. It's just luck. And I mean, to get a proper sample size for tournaments, you probably have to play like 10 million of them or something, right? And if, like I just said before, in a lifetime, maybe you're going to play 1,000. So 1,000 tournaments, you're really just like hoping to get lucky for a living. So I don't know how. I don't know how tournament players do it, if it's their job to do it for a living. I mean, it sounds like they all sell action together. So maybe you have 20 pros, and each pro is playing 100 tournament, and they each have 5% of each other to reduce the variance. But then it kind of feels, to me, that kind of seems like collusion. I don't know. I mean, the way I see it, like, I love cash games. I could kind of agree the main event's a pretty cool thing. Like, it's historic, and whatever. I guess I agree. I guess I like the idea of the main event for whatever reason. But other than the main, I just really don't see why people want to play tournaments. I haven't played a live tournament in since COVID. So I haven't played a live tournament in probably 5 years. But online, I do still play some. If I did have more money, though, I would like to play the main again. I guess I played the main event 3 times, never cashed it. So I would like to play the main event again. That would be maybe the one exception I make. But I don't know. Maybe some point I'll play another live tournament. But for right now, I just think tournaments are so obnoxious. And like that guy, that CAC-AT guy was saying, I mean, he was complaining, saying that these guys are such scum, that they're, doing this like dirty angle thing, whatever. I don't really think it's those people's fault. It's just a fundamental flaw, and these guys found found an edge, and they're just taking advantage of their edge the same way, you always double down on 11 in blackjack, or you always split your aces or whatever. It's just like an advantage people find, so they just stick to it. But yeah, I do think tournaments are lame. I mean, I remember sometimes I would play those tournaments and I would just sit there like right on day 1, and I would see some guy just stalling, right, for no reason, and I'm just like, oh, this is so stupid. And I mean, if you think about it, everyone should just stall for no reason. I mean, tournaments, you should essentially be playing like 9. Everyone should just play like 9 hands an hour, and it would just be retarded. Or everyone could play 80 hands an hour, and it would be whatever, not 80, but you would play 35 hands an hour. It'd be a lot of fun. I guess, like I said, I just think it's going to get worse and worse from what I've heard, and so that they're going to have to find a way to fix it. The best way to fix it would be to somehow count hands, so that you can, so that you decide the person's finishing place based on how many hands they played, and not based on how much time they went into the tournament. All right, that's all I have to say about that. Real quick, anything else? Yeah, I don't know, everything's going good. Yeah, whatever, I'm just excited to go to the casino today. Hopefully I can run good. I guess that's all for today, guys. All right, have fun, have a good weekend. See you guys.